Welcome back for another video. Not long until Gameweek25 kicks off. In this one we're going to run through how the team's set to line up, the transfer plans and general thoughts about this game week, including Trent's injury and Salah's back in training. Let's kick off with a quick look at how last game week went as always. 91 points, which was a nice green arrow, to just 1 point outside the top 100k now. Very happy with that score. Edison keeping a clean sheet and even got a bonus point. Saliba scoring and keeping a clean sheet in the 6-0 thrashing versus West Ham, and of course Saka getting a brace in that match as well. Captain Haaland with a brace as well for a 26 pointer. After a few captain blanks in recent weeks, really nice to hit Hall again. Solanke got an assist, Darwin scored, Foden and Richarlison blanked, a goal from either of them and I might have joined the 100 club for the first time this season. Palmer of course on a lot of benches, so divided views on his very late couple of assists versus Palace to put the game to bed, 10 pointer for him, having moved from 0 to 2 bonus points after the second assist. That's 17 returns and 16 starts for Palmer this season. He's going to go down as one of the best enablers in FPL history. It's crazy that he started at 5 mil. So Brentford kept their first clean sheet since game week 10, but Pinnock was last on the bench. It was never in consideration to play him honestly. Trent came off at half time with an aggravation of a knee injury versus Burnley. He's yellow flagged now, so a decision to make on keeping him or selling him for the double. Let's have a look at the team for double game week 25. It's Edison in goal again, with 2 home games for their double game week versus Chelsea and Brentford. He made a poor mistake in the Champions League Tuesday night, which immediately led to Copenhagen scoring. Ordinarily, if City were a few points top of the table already, it wouldn't surprise me if Pep were to give Ortega a start in the double. But these are 2 absolutely massive games for City next. If they can win both games, they'll be top of the Premier League table again. I've calculated the combined clean sheet odds to give the percentage chances of at least 1 clean sheet for the doublers. City are top, given a 68.7% chance of a clean sheet this week. Liverpool close in second with a 67.9% chance of at least 1 in their double. The original intention in buying Edison was to save the headache of picking which City defender, as none are certain starters in both games. Though Vardy has been ruled out for 2 to 3 weeks by Pep, which boosts Ake's appeal massively. Still not absolutely certain that he starts both, but he looks like the best City defender now if you need one. Moving on to the defence, which is Saliba, Trent and Pedro Porro. As we saw in the clean sheet odds, Arsenal have got the best odds of the single game week teams with a 47% chance. Saliba's away to Burnley, who are 19th in the Premier League table with 25 goals scored this season, second fewest after Sheffield United. Given it's such a good fixture, the likes of Saka and Saliba seem like risky players to sell. There's every chance an Arsenal defender outscores someone like Doughty or Reguilon in my eyes. So Trent has posed a dilemma at the worst possible time with a yellow flag right before an unbelievable double game week. We'll hear from Klopp later in the week on Friday in his press conference. Some training footage was posted by Liverpool on Tuesday where Bradley was seen training, as was Salah, no Trent seen. Trent's place in my team is going to be dependent on what we hear in the coming days. We'll talk more about that in the transfer plans later. Pedro Porro is the third defender in the 3-4-3 this week. I'm finding it a tough choice between him and Estupinian, who's got Sheffield United. Porro's got the home fixture and overall better underlying numbers and expected minutes, but also has a tougher fixture against Wolves. If Brentford managed to hold them scoreless last game, then Spurs certainly can. Porro's underlying numbers though have dropped the last few games. In his last 3, his XGI is 0.01, 0.07 and 0.17. Let me know if you think Porro is the right call. Onto the midfield, which is Gordon, Richarlison, Saka and Foden. Was hoping to see Foden rested in the Champions League. In the end, Foden, De Bruyne and Haaland all started and they played the full match. 1 goal, 1 assist for Foden though. He's in immense form at the moment, and he remarked after the game that he's much happier playing through the middle. Pep very much aware of this. He was quieter out wide versus Everton before Pep changed it up. Chelsea and Brentford have kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 6 league games each, conceding 12 and 16 goals over that run. Gordon's ownership's plummeted after the injury that never was. He's now 15.4% owned, which I'm more than happy about. He's home to Bournemouth, and throughout the season he's been exceptional at home. In fact, if we look at every player in the league, Gordon's 80 points in home games is third best after Salah and Douglas Luiz. 12 returns for Gordon in home games from 6 goals, 6 assists. Richarlison's got 6 goals, 3 assists in home games himself, and he faces Wolves. Looking at my midfield, Foden's the only double gaming asset, which isn't ideal, no Jota or De Bruyne. Now these are some very good single gaming fixtures, so it's not the end of the world. After all, Richarlison's got 9 goals in his last 9 games himself. They're going to need to come up with something though to keep pace with those fielding more double gaming players than myself. Saka's the final player in midfield. There is the option to do Saka to Jota, but it's not worth it in my view. You gain a fixture this week, but you lose one in Game Week 26, and in my case it books in a -4 minimum in Game Week 26 to get 11 players out. Again, it's a top single game week fixture for Salah. Burnley have conceded 106 goal attempts this season, which is 3rd worst. They've been without Taylor for a while as well, who has recently been seen in training but might not be ready for a start. Could be a weakness down Burnley's left side. Delcroix was used in left back versus Liverpool. They got plenty of joy down that flank. Moving on to the front three, which is Solanke, Haaland and Darwin. Could be off the mark with this assessment, but Darwin feels likely to play in both games versus Jota. We could see Klopp shake things up versus Luton in the second game. As we're aware, they've got the League Cup final a few days after, expecting the likes of Gakpo to start one. Darwin gets the vice-captaincy for the double. A good start to selling Watkins last week, having blanked versus Man United while Darwin scored. Need Darwin to outscore him again this week. The expectation isn't that Watkins doesn't return at all over these 2 game weeks, but the aim was simply for Darwin to do better before buying Watkins back in Gameweek 26. Solanke faces the Newcastle side, who haven't kept a clean sheet since Gameweek 17 against Fulham. Away at Newcastle can be a tough fixture, though Newcastle are bang out of form defensively. No one has a worse XG conceded than their 18.9 over the last 6 game weeks. Even if we look at the last 4 home games, Newcastle are rock bottom as well. There's no room for Tony, unfortunately. Solanke doubles in a few weeks' time, so they only want to get him straight back, so it's 2 transfers. But Tony's a very good pick if you have room for him. Triple captain active on Haaland. 2 home games, 2 wins required, a brace last match. What's not to love? Solanke in Gameweek 28 is a great option as well for triple captaincy, but I prefer Haaland now. And using the triple captain later in the season can backfire, as teams juggle other competitions or look to rotate more if there's nothing to play for at that point. For example, double Gameweek 37 last season, Haaland started one and he was benched the other. He didn't play at all in Gameweek 38. FPL reviews given Haaland an 85% chance of scoring any time in this double, which is ridiculously high. I would really weigh it up if you're backing someone else for captaincy just for the sake of it. I've read quite a few comments this week that people are looking for someone like Jota or Foden triple captain because their overall rank's not what they want it to be. This can easily make the situation worse, if you feel you're making a worse decision just for the sake of it. FPL is all about making what you think are the best decisions, and the time to go differential is when you feel 2 players are very close, in which case back the lower owned asset. If you feel that Darwin, Foden or De Bruyne are even with Haaland this week, then that's fine. Onto the bench then, which is Dubravka, Estupiñán, Palmer and Pinnock. The bench pretty much picks itself this week, besides the Estupiñán versus Porro decision. Although Pinnock's got double game week, he won't be used. I can't see Brentford keeping a clean sheet in either game, and he's got a very low chance of an attacking return. It's just set pieces with Pinnock. So let's move straight on to transfer plans. So Salah's been seen back in training. It might not be full training of course, but Liverpool posted a video that's got him in. There's no easy route to him for me. It'd have to be Trent to Maguire and then Saka to Salah. However, that's a -4, plus a -4 in Gameweek 26, so I'm ruling Salah out. Likewise, Saka to Jota forces a hit in 26, and my gut feeling says that Jota and Salah don't start both games. Certainly Salah likely doesn't. It could be some minutes off the bench versus Brentford for Salah and then a start versus Luton, which isn't bad at all, but I'd be ripping my team up for him. If you've got Salah at this point, you keep him. So the only transfer I'm looking at is selling Trent, and this one's going to be dependent on what Klopp says, and whether we see him train before the Brentford game. If Trent's ruled out entirely, then Trent to Van Dijk's and move on the cards. There's also the option to just roll with Estupiñán though. With that all in mind, the current plan is to roll the transfer. I've been guilty of ripping my team up for hits and double game weeks before, and then when looking at the game week in hindsight, I've often thought to myself, if I'd swerved that hit, or stuck with this single game week player, then I would have done better. So let's see how this one plays out. The really nice benefit is that there were lots of hits in Game Week 24, and there's going to be lots in Game Week 25 and 26, whereas I'll potentially be able to navigate this period completely hitless. 2 free transfers in Game Week 26 is going to be invaluable. A good way to look at avoiding hits is that before the game week even begins, you start on a small green arrow. There's thousands of managers just a point ahead of you in the rankings at all times, and those with a hit or 2 in their teams drop behind you. Hits are team dependent though, and of course there's going to be lots of hits that are logical this week. Let us know what your transfer plans are and who you're captaining, whether it's Haaland or someone else. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon for the next one.